Hello, welcome to the Tarot Experience with Marcia. I am Marcia and I'm an intuitive tarot reader based in the northwest of England. Now the reason I want to do this video is because I did something I've never done before earlier this year. Whilst I was working abroad, I was attracted to a Kickstarter campaign for a deck that promised to be a mix between Rider-Waite and the illustrations of Pamela Colman Smith and the Tarot de Marseille pip decks. Now I'm a big fan of Tarot de Marseille because, I don't know, I think it's because I like to read intuitively. I find having the scene there as you know, fixed as in Rider-Waite, I find it a bit restricting. So I've always absolutely loved the Tarot de Marseille decks. So I was a bit intrigued by this merge that this guy promised. And I've never done Kickstarter before, so I didn't know how it worked or whether it was reliable or whether I was going to be scammed or whatever. But as I say, I was working away and I knew I wouldn't be home for several months and this wasn't going to be delivered till June. So I thought, go on, give it a whirl. Excuse me. So I did, and I more or less forgot about it really because it was going to be several months. But then I started to get emails about the progress of the project and what he'd been able to do with all the funding it got, etc. And it all looked very impressive. Anyway, cut a long story short, this is what I got the other week. Now, that's the box that came. Very nice, with this beautiful book, which shows sort of how he came to, you can't see there, can you? How he came to the idea of combining Tarot de Marseille with, or should I say pip decks, with Rider-Waite. I keep saying he, it's, I think you pronounce it Alejandro Rozan. And I have to say, during the delivery period, I had a bit of a problem. I thought it was all taking way too long. And he did reply to my emails personally. So it was all a really, really good service. Can't complain about that. He has absolutely looked after all of his investors, if you like. Now, I was going to do the video as soon as I got the deck, but I'm glad I didn't, because to be honest, when I got it, I thought, I think there's a bit too much Rider-Waite going on here, a bit too, I think the illustrations are a bit too forward on the card's image. And that made me think, maybe I won't actually use them that much. But you know what? I have used them. And I don't think they're intrusive at all. It's a really, really good mix of TDM and Rider-Waite Smith. So I'll just show you. Actually, I'll tell you what I'll do first. Let me show you the extras that came with it. With the deck, as you know, or you may know, tarot decks have 78 cards in the deck. 22 major arcana, and the rest are court cards and pip cards. Now, 7 of the major arcanas have got twices in this deck, and he says, I mean, it gives all the explanations in the book as to why he's done this, but there are some that I'm not so keen on. To be honest, I'm not going to use any of these extra 7, just because I like my interpretations of the cards that we've got already. See Temperance there, she's not pouring from cup to cup in her hands, she's pouring down to the ground. I'm just used to mine. It's using like the lightning, that's an alternative name for the tower, not the tower, judgment. We've got the star, and then Juno and Jupiter instead of the Hierophant and the High Priestess, because as you know, may know, on the TDM ones, the Tarot de Marseille, they are actually called the Pope and the Popess. So I suppose you can understand some people might not like that that sort of association. It does explain why it's Juno and Jupiter, so it's all in the book. I'm not going to bore you with it here, and no, I can't remember either. Anyway, the only one that I really dislike, I could use those, the only one I really dislike is the alternative to the devil that he's put in. I just hate that. I love the normal devil. I'll try and come across it in a second to show you. But to show the difference between the cards, let me show you the 9 of Pentacles. That's the regular TDM. That's a pip card. And that's like most of the Tarot de Marseille style cards and a lot of other cards as well. If they're a pip deck, that's what you get. 9 pentacles on the card, not much else. You can read into the symbolism and the colours and what have you, but basically it's 9 pentacles. Now on Rider-Waite, I can't find my normal square Rider-Waite, but I've got these. You have a very definite image with the 9 of Pentacles. And if you read the book meanings for the 9 of Pentacles, you will get a very definite message as to what the 9 of Pentacles mean. As I say, I prefer to read intuitively. So I like not to be told what to think the card means, because it changes according to what you feel from the connection with the with whoever's sitting with you. It changes in accordance with the position in the spread. It changes in accordance with the cards around it in the spread. So I like that creativity. Now here is Alejandro's mix of the two, and have I got her upside down? And I've got my glasses on. No, that way. We've got the very obvious 9 of Pentacles as pip cards, as pips, sorry, but you can see the figure behind. So, excuse me, although I thought when I first opened the cards that, oh, it's a bit obtrusive, that, it really isn't. I love them. They're such good quality as well, look, and they're edged in silver, which you probably can't see unless I hold them up. Now, doubting myself with what I said about the lightning card, I'm just going to put my glasses on and have a quick check in the book, because I've forgotten what I think it's judgment. Lightning 139. Talk amongst yourselves. 139 lightning. Oh no, it is the Tower. It is the Tower, not Judgment. I did say Tower first, didn't I? Yeah, I'm not convinced it's as well. It doesn't look as dramatic as the Tower that we're used to, does it? If I could quickly find it. Oh, there's the TDM Tower right on top of my other deck. The Tower, one of the most over-dramatised cards in the deck, according to TV and film. So I just wanted to show you that, not necessarily to do a reading, but just to show, you know, there is, well, as you may know, if you read yourself, you'll know you've probably got millions of decks of your own, and they're all so different. That's why I prefer to have no illustration. I like different images of pip cards, different sort of shapes of pips and what have you, but because there are so many different decks, I don't want to get used to lots of different images as such, you know, lots of pictures that have a very definite story to them, because like I say, it's all so different. Everyone's so different. Every reading's different. So I think that's all I wanted to say. The positives are, I was very impressed with my Kickstarter. experience. I don't know if it's all like that, whether it's sort of monitored by the Kickstarter page or whatever, but the quality is brilliant. You know, as I say, it was slow delivery, but that's because it was being developed. But you know, Alejandro, the guy who created the deck, he kept in regular touch. He replied personally to emails, and as I say, because I've had chance to use the cards, I know now that I'm much more pleased with them than I thought I was in the first place, if that makes sense. So have a lovely evening. I've got this new wall hanging, which, to be honest, I thought was bigger than it was, so it's not quite covering the wall, which is a bit of a disappointment, but never mind. Hopefully I'll be able to do more videos now that I've sorted my tarot room out and my study out, and I'll see you next time.